Round number 5 of the Winter Series, the Washington, D.C. region SCCA Virtual Racing League takes the league overseas to Brands Hatch Circuit, one of the premier grassroots road racing facilities in the UK. I'm Kyle Heyer, joined by Finian DeCuna. Finian, welcome aboard. Tonight, we go road racing at Brands Hatch. I love this place. This is one of my favorite international road courses. So much flow, so much high speed around here, flinging the car up and down the hills. It's a blast to drive around here.
Yeah, absolutely. And if VIR wasn't one of the most difficult tracks for these guys, this definitely will be because of the elevation change, the blind corners in sectors 2 and 3. Once you start to go up and down through the hills, the back half of the course is very challenging, especially in these cars that rely so much on keeping that momentum up through the corners. If you don't get it right, you go flying off on the wall and can end your race very early.
Yeah, this is one of those classic facilities. It does have some runoff in a couple of places, namely turn 1, as we watch it's like that's Ken House. He'll dive down the hill at the exit of turn 1, but you head up to Druids here. This is a hairpin, great passing opportunity that leaves you down to Graham Hill Bend. Surtees that will lead you back up towards the backside of the facility, way off in the trees. Hawthorne Bend, Westfield Bend, Dingle Dell, and Sheen Sterling's back up to Clark and finish out a lap there, Finian. So it is a fast, fun lap, lots of elevation. It's narrow at points, lots of curbs to jump. It's just a fun place.
Yeah, it really is a fun. A former F1 venue back in the 50s, 60s, even a bit of the 70s as well. Used to host F1 action around here. You can only imagine F1 cars flying around here. And the layout hasn't really changed all that much. It's remained mostly the same throughout its history. So that's what you said. It just feels like a classic circuit. It's got that old school feel to it, which I'm sure these drivers love.
Weather is nice and temperate, 70 degrees in the air, 84 on the racetrack. Qualifying is underway. Kyle Herbst atop the board there in the big bores. The Mustang FR500S atop the MX5 category is Ken Houseel right now in that 23. Andrew Pilata runs a close second. Look at the livery on this car. Pink, purple, and blue on that number 96 Mazda. DJ Alessandrini is back this week, of course. Had that issue last week. Was racing from SEMA and ended up having an incident and finishing down towards the tail of the field. Tom O'Gorman's back in that number 94 ASM Hawk Performance car. It is a deep field once again. We've got about 9 Mustangs. The rest of the field is all MX5 tonight.
Yeah, we're working through their opening qualifying lap. Kyle Hurst, Jake King, Mike Leader. Actually, Leader just went up to 2nd place in the Mustangs. Looking at Louis Alessi in 15th at the moment. That 17th is dropping down the order. We're going to see if he can improve a time as he's near the bottom of the board. Alessi
working his way up the hill here. A little bit of curbing, and then this is this long straightaway that leads you down towards Hawthorne. Good slipstream opportunity here for the MX5s, but as we've talked about, in last week and in weeks before that, not a lot of slipstream in general in this MX5, nor in the Mustang. So you're really having to work hard to keep speed up because you don't have the automatic draft suck-up that you get in the ND generation MX5.
Yeah, and even then, you're not really going to be relying on too much of slipstream around here. There's only that one decently long straightaway in the middle. That's probably the most slipstream you'll get out of here. The front stretch is not too terribly long, and it's going to be hard to make a pass in turn 1 there. So I think for qualifying for these guys is going to be extremely important in this session to get a good time in. And it's hard because there's grass everywhere. It's so easy to get an off track.
Paul Darling in that number 155, the Ford Mustang out front. As Tom O'Gorman 4/10 back on the timing and scoring. Kyle Herbst, Mike Leader, and Jake King, the rest of the top 5 of the Mustangs. Houseel, Pilata, Alessandrini, Sam Scott, and Jack Chrissy round out the top 5 there in MX5. There's Sam Scott up in 4th place. We've talked about him a little bit and his return to the EC Region SCCA Virtual Racing League. Really hasn't gotten the results I think we would have expected. There was a time, Finian, that Sam was really the top of the class there in this Miata, this particular generation, but it hasn't quite clicked. Still a little bit off the podium, 3/10 off the lead right now for Ken Houseel. Tom O'Gorman top of the board, though, in the FR500.
Yeah, solid job for Tomo to jump up there, up into the top of the place, only by 800ths of a second, 80 thousandths of a second over Paul Darling, just in behind them. Paul still is actually Paul's just approaching the line right now. Don't think he's on a quick lap. I think he's about to start a quick lap, though.
142.7 last time around, so that is warming up for a flyer. Let's ride on board here.
And this is hard to cut off the last attempt. And as I say that, he was flying off the track, so he will have no more attempts to catch up to Tomo.
Easy thing to do out there at the exit of turn 1. Get yourself in the gravel trap. Here comes a new competitor into the fray. And Finian, Take a stab at that one.
I knew you were gonna say something. See how Leo? Gonna like Google.
I think it's
solve
just
this.
Lou at the tail end there. We're going to refer to howtopronounce.com. Hopefully this will come through on the stream. Let's see. Zihao. Zihao. Okay, I feel pretty comfortable with that. Zihao Liu up to third place in the 926. We're going to be saying his name a lot, so might as well give ourselves the best shot we got. 926 runs in third, bumps Alessandrini back. And Jake King up to third place in the FR500s. Kyle Herbst roars out of the final corner and heads back towards the start-finish line for him.
Yeah, we'll see can he improve in his final attempt across the line, 136.4.
Yep.
Up to third. Won't take the top 2 spots, but will at least move up 1.
Wozencroft working his way through the last couple corners now on his last attempt. And he is last right now in the FR500. It's about only, well, actually I was going to say only, but it's 2.6 off of the lead. A 137.990 is quicker, but not quick enough to beat out Trenton McMillian, another new name this week in that number 14 FR500.
It's an awesome last name, McMillian.
McBillion would be cooler, though, wouldn't it? Jack Chrissy down the hill in the number 6, working his way through. Big jump there. I always get my two right-handers confused. There is Westfield, and then Dingle. Is Dingledell the fun one? Westfield. No, it's Dingledell, right? Yeah.
Dingledell is the right-hander going back up towards that final
so
right
Sheen.
left.
So Sheen is the fun one.
Yes.
That's the one where you
Sheen is
jump the curb the big time. Okay. Need to get that in order because that is, I think, the most fun corner on the racetrack. Jack Chrissy across the line picks up a half a second and goes to fourth. Number 6 up in row 2.
Yeah, in behind Leo and the 926, and I gotta say for Leo, good newcomer, doing really good.
Yeah.
Put a time up 30, he's gone faster than DJ.
I did see the admins chatting about Zahao in that number 926, and I think they had seen him in other leagues and know that he's got some pace, so he's certainly going to be one to watch tonight. Jack Christie also beating out DJ Alessandrini. Good run for him. Kevin Zoo's on track in the 243. Ryan Dunham, like he's working his way back towards the start-finish line now. In the number 19, he has yet to put a lap on the board. Going to have 4 more minutes to put some down, and most everyone else has already utilized all their qualifying laps. Ryan Dunham just puts the first one in at a 44.9. To be enough to go fast, though, he'll have to. Oh, he crashes in turn 1. Ooh.
Big one.
Look at it.
Yeah, turn 1's really tough to get. I wouldn't be surprised if we see more incidents during the race, especially when the driver's trying to make a pass, but just completely missed the corner around. He went into the wall.
Yeah, you kind of have to turn in before your gut tells you should. In the cockpit here, the track curves away from you right here. He's already missed it.
Oh, yeah, he missed it.
And you have to turn in before you can see it. It's a blind downhill corner. Typically blind corners are uphill. He seems struggling there. So Jermaine Major on track now. But there's a couple corners that are like that here. Even Sheen, which we documented earlier, the turn-in point for that is a little vague because if you miss it just by a touch, you're going to run wide on exit. You turn it a little early, and you're going to cut the racetrack. So you have to, there's a few places you really got to balance on the edge.
Yeah, there's a lot of blind corners. It's not just a few. There's a good amount of the corners are blind, and that leads to a lot of incidents, especially in the Sheen curve. That's where we see a lot of incidents happen during the race. Caleb Patry working his way around the track in the 99.8.
141.569 is his best lap. That was the previous. See if he can get it up. Little curb jump there in the last corner and right out to the edge of the road. And coming across the line this time through, we'll see if he can improve on his 141.569. He will not at 141.757. That was the last opportunity. Here's Wojtek Heidesek in the number 21. He is headed down the hill, so he's got a little ways to go in his lap. Darian Taggart way through.
Yeah, he's already completed his lap, so he's just kind of out there for fun. Ooh, you can see him. You can see how much load gets a little bit of grass. That little clip of grass that he had there, I've seen so many drivers over the years, they just clip just a little bit of grass on the exit, and that gets it's enough for the car to break traction. We'll take a look here.
Another look at it, and it's just the slightest little bit. Turn in, clobbers that curb right there on exit, and we actually can't quite see it from that particular angle. Right here, watch this. Put shots. Right here, and how little it takes, just that little bit.
Yeah.
all it will take to spin your car off track.
Yeah, because you're putting so much load on the left side tires on that corner because it's a high-speed right-hand turn. So you're putting so much load on that left side. You catch a little bit of grass. It's just enough for it to lose traction. You got lucky on that occasion, but I've seen worse with just that little bit of tip over onto the grass.
Or the limits to fast around Brands Hatch. And while that looks like it's off track for those that haven't been here before, we're going to leave this in not replay mode just to show you all this is fair game. This is not grass. This is basically like metal or concrete sort of cross-hatching here. All fair game. It's all legal race surface.
I was going to say, I never really understood what it is. Oh, yeah, it is some kind of wiring thing. Yeah, it's really weird. It's only at this track, if I'm not mistaken, too. And I think in this corner.
It's common at, I've seen it, where else have I seen it?
Well, as far as like major national
Interlagos has that on the entry to, I think it's turn 12, that left-hander.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
So there are a couple other places in the service that have it. There might be some other British tracks that have it. I think, I don't know, anywhere where you hear bzz, and it's a high pitch, probably that stuff. I think, and it's actually on corner entry there as well. Extra oversteer there from Zahao Liu. Everyone else is done qualifying with 30 seconds to spare. Paul Darling.
One way to take the track, and also that car has seen better days.
Mustang that is gone a little too fast leaving the car meet.
Doing the Lightning McQueen lap.
All right, so qualifying is complete. We'll get onto the starting grid here in just a minute and roll you through the starting lineup. And this is the 5th week in a row that front class has been an odd number of cars, which offsets our rows for everybody else. The whole thing. I might actually make a dedicated gridding graphic for both categories at this stage with how often that happens.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's been a little annoying. Yes. We just need one more, one less.
Yep. Doesn't ever seem to work out. There's an odd number of Miatas too, so. All right, but an even number of cars. Let's kick things off with our starting grid roll through here from Brands Hatch Circuit, the WDCR SCCA Virtual Racing League. Row number 1, Tom O'Gorman in the number 94. Paul Darling will start up alongside him. Those two fought hard for victory last week at Rudskogen. They will do the same again here at Brands Hatch. Row number 2, Finian, take it away.
Yeah, row number 2, Kyle Hurst and Jake King. Definitely want to keep an eye on both of them. They've both been really quick and inside the top 3 all season long.
Row 3 is Mike Leader in the number 53. He'll start alongside Todd Rushing in the number 4 and 6th.
Back behind them, 7, Tal Sadiq in the 17 car. Next to him, Trent McMillian in the 14 car in 8th.
9th place is Andrew Wozencroft in the number 80, and starting 10th overall, first for the MX-5s, Kenau Seal. And then row number 11, Finian, this is where our MX-5 field really gets rolling.
Yeah, absolutely. 2nd place, Andrew Pilot in the 96, and then newcomer Zihao Liu in the 926. Keep an eye on him, see if he can potentially win on his debut.
Jack Chrissy will start in 4th in the number 6. DJ Alessandrini rolls off right behind him in 5th place in the number 61.
Back behind them, 698 of Sam Scott. Next to him, Caleb Patry in the 998 in 7th.
8th place is Wojtek Heidesak in the number 21. Ryan Maloney starts 9th in the number 65.
Back behind them, Peter Lauzon in 10th place, and next to him it's going to be Darren Taggart in the 31 in 11th.
12th place will be Mitch Marhefka in the number 27, and Robert Porter starts 13th in the number 136.
Then behind them in 14th, Kevin Zhu is going to be lined up at the 243. Next to him, the 69, Francois Breu in 15th.
16th place, Louis Alessi in the number 43. Tomo burns down the rear tires, leaving the box there. Will Robbins starts 17th in the number 35.
Doing how they do at F1. Yeah. Light the tires up. Donnelly in the 28 car in 18. Next to him, Adam Kovac in the 85 and 19.
Starting 20th is Michael Furchak in the number 11. And 21st is Chris Pete in the number 32.
Rounding out your grid is going to be 22nd, Jermaine Major, who is not gridded in the 30 car. And last but not least, Ryan Dunham in the 23rd spot, 32nd overall.
So, back here in 28th, this is Donald Louie. That's how you say that last name. I know that because he ran an event with us a couple of months ago, and I asked him because I had seen him in the WDCR SCCA Virtual Racing League. I asked him, how do you pronounce your last name? Louie. Got how Lou over here. So
Yes.
I think this is Lou and the other is Louis. That's the difference from what I understand. Probably get corrected
It's one. They just have to swap the letters around, but they're so
Yes.
close. At first, I thought, I was like, wait a minute, is that the same name? And I looked, I was like, oh, nope, the letters are swapped.
It is not. Tom O'Gorman, front row starter here. Paul Darling alongside.
Big shocker.
Yeah, big shocker. These two have just been constantly on the top of the board. These Mustangs are fun to drive. Really like how they kind of move around. They're stick axle cars, so there's no independent rear suspension, so they do some wonky things at the limit. I also like that you can kind of see underneath here. You can actually see these suspension arms move. I wonder if we can actually see that here in slow motion. Watch the suspension on Paul Darling's car, even Tomo's. You can see those pieces move in real time.
Yeah.
Pretty fast.
I was going to say, you can't really in modern GT cars because you got a bunch of stuff underneath the car. They're closer to the ground. You have a giant diffuser usually in the back.
Start moving around, and yeah, it's just a lot of ability to spectate the very simple suspension geometry on these FR500 Mustangs. About 325 horsepower and 3,600 pounds, or give or take. The Miata is about 2,600 pounds, 150 horsepower. Cars roll through the last corner here at Brands Hatch Circuit. 30 minutes of racing going up on the board. This one's going to fly by quickly. Round 5 of the WDCR SCCA Virtual Racing League is underway. Green flag flies. We're racing in the UK. O'Gorman clears Darling down to turn 1. Paul is flanked on either side. 3 abreast, gets hit from behind.
Osama didn't end up more ugly than it did, although it's still contact 3 wide, hitting the Druids for the first time. Into the hairpin they go.
Oh, still 3 wide here in the mix.
Almost 4
He's
wide.
going to get squeezed. Darling, and no more contact there as they bang through the first couple corners. The MX-5's now down the hill at turn 1.
Yeah, a little bit of banging into turn 1 for them, but mostly clean off. Paul Darling, though, got a horrible start on the Mustangs. You see them go into Druids now for the Miatas. And it was in pretty orderly fashion.
Yeah, actually really orderly fashion. Very impressed with the start for the MX-5s. Mustangs were a little beaten and banging there. Sam Scott under fire from Caleb Patry. They almost touched doors here, and for the lead, here comes Pilata past Ken House Seal. Can he hang on to it, though? House Seal's going to try the crossover.
He's going to try the crossover, and Pilato is really loose coming into that corner, coming out of that corner, getting on the power, was struggling, and now he's losing that time down the straightaway and is under attack from Liu and Chrissy in behind.
Now through the right-handers. Big time issues if they bang doors here through the section. Jermaine Major, I think, has had an issue. He has reset back to the pits. That's why he's jumped to the top of the order for the moment. Peter Lausen in the 56, under fire from Darian Taggart. This is down the order here for about 10th in class.
Heading up into Sheen corner, everyone pretty much single file. You really don't want to take this corner double file because it's very much single lane.
Paul Darling, we documented his slip up in the early moments. He has dropped to 6th place and really got swarmed on the initial start as Tal Sadiq and Trent McMillian. Trenton's in the 14 car, which is the one on now the right side of your screen on driver's left. Jack Chrissy and Zahal Liu has dropped to 5th place. MX-5s have sorted out for now, except for back here. Sorry, Finian.
Yeah, no, what happened to him in the final corner just went a little bit wide, got into the grass and in the gravel, so he was able to be under the car back onto the surface. He's got a Mustang spun around.
Million. See what happened to him here down the corner. There's some contact here. He just slips in front of Sadiq. Not much that Sadiq could have done to miss that. Just spins on his own and throws that car sideways back into the MX-5 traffic. Taggart and Lausen going back at it.
Whoa, almost door-to-door contact entering that corner. 56 closing in. Taggart's going to win on that fight. Lausen now going to get in behind, try to slipstream whatever he can. There's, again, not too terribly long of a straight in these cars, not too terribly good at doing it, but it'll just be enough potentially for him to try to throw it in the inside or not.
Stay in line, it looks like. Follow Taggart through, but he misses the turn in just slightly. And right behind him, Kevin Zhu is leaning on him, trying to grab a position. But this is all momentum racing in this middle sector here. You're just trying to carry speed so much that getting side by side will leave you vulnerable to those behind. Speaking of, Todd Rushing, vulnerable to Jake King, who got kind of caught up in that Paul Darling stuff at the beginning of the race. But here comes Jake into turn 1.
Yeah, Rushing got a very poor exit out of the final corner that allowed for King to throw it up the inside into turn 1. You just saw it right there. will get his place back. Will get on by and rushing out. Going to try to look to the outside in Druids, but King taking defensive line.
Trees, they all come down the hill. That's why I love some of these British circuits. They're just built into the land rather than on top of them. Follow the natural contours of what's around them. The Mustangs have simmered for now. O'Gorman leads by almost 2 seconds. Back in MX-5s, though, Houseal's lead is not very large, 0.4 of a second with Pilota pressuring.
Yeah, and it's always really rare when you see a large lead in the Miatas. Houseal leading over Pilota, Chrissy, Alessandrino, Leo, your top 5. And a little bit of a breakaway for them. You can see everyone running over the curving, using much of that to their advantage.
Patri's in the mix back there in 6th place, a 1 second gap up to Blue in the 926 car. The only car out of the race so far is Jermaine Major, but Kevin Zhu has just had an issue turning into the uphill.
Did he have any help here? It was a single car.
On his own. I wonder if he just catches the grass here. No, just gets the car unsettled at turn in, and it goes around. We've had issues with Kyle Herbst as well, and Mike Leader. They've had a crash.
Oh, yeah, and they're both spun to different parts of the track. I would imagine this involved both of them.
No, just Herbst gets loose, spins, comes back across the road and tags Leader. Nothing Leader did wrong there at all.
I actually want to wind that up a little bit more with Hearst, because they actually started when he's coming through Sheen Corner. You can see him in the grass already, up ahead trying to get back on.
Yeah.
Went a little bit too far the other side, caught some grass.
He never really had a chance to save it either. I mean, he went from driver's left back across the road kind of out of control and never got a chance to recover, and it kind of just steamrolled into what we saw there.
Yeah, a lot of contact, a lot of incidents in the Mustang class so far. We're only 5 minutes into this race.
Yeah, that's going to put Tom O'Gorman 5.7 seconds clear. Jake King, Paul Darling, Todd Rushing. Haven't really talked a lot about Todd this season, but started in 6th. He's up 2 spots to 4th. And Alessandrini and Chrissy have just swapped spots in MX-5s.
Yeah, that was Chrissy went really wide in turn 1 off into the gravel. Allowed Alessandrini to get to the inside of the Druids into the hairpin and make that move happen. Along the way, though, that's going to be the next question.
Yeah, good fight here. And Chrissy, though, is still keeping the pressure on. Sticks the nose up the inside, gets hit from behind. Lou gives him a punt. But there's just nowhere to go. You can't dive in that late in the corner. You have to establish some overlap before you get there. He just wasn't far enough along. They are starting to lose touch a little bit to Pilota and Houseal. It's 0.8 of a second from 3rd up to 2nd.
Yeah, I would think they might have enough time to catch back up, but it really depends. I mean, I would be hard-pressed to question DJ if he's got enough pace to catch those guys. If anyone in the field does, it's definitely him.
Wow, look at that. Was a wild jump from Andrew Pilota to try to make up some time.
DJ caught the grass there, got a little bit loose. She off a sheet curve. Oh, car in the background. I think Sam Scott's off.
Wow, that was a big hit. Scott coming through here. I wonder if it's the same story. If he drops tire on the left, no.
I think on the right.
On the right. Yep.
That's another common mistake and overcorrected. Bam, hard in the tire barriers.
For 2nd in the Mustangs, Paul Darling gotten around Jake King. Actually just set a faster lap than race leader Tom O'Gorman by 1/10 of a second, but 6.3 seconds in 22 minutes. Have fun with that.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think Paul's probably going to be a little bit irritated. The fact of that contact early on to like put him further down the order. Now he has very little chance of catching Tomo. I think there is still potentially a chance if Tom catches lap cars in the wrong place, because it's going to be really tight working through lap traffic, so he might be able to use that to his advantage. But it's going to be a tall order.
I'd say even with the lap traffic, yeah, it'll be tough, but never say never. Certainly not now. Not even 1/3 of the way into this race. Not quite. Back up in MX-5s, that breakaway for 2nd is slightly increasing. Houseal and Pilota 9/10 over Alessandrini. But a little bit deeper in the field. How about for 12th in class? Here's Mitch Marhefka, that white car, and Donald Louie in the 28 to his outside.
Ooh, very close, almost touching wheels, heading off into Hawthorns. Getting close to the exit. Louie just decided to back out of that.
Didn't fully commit to the curbing there through Westfield. Dingledale, rather. They committed that time through Sheens. Alessi just behind him, the Rusty's car, the 95. I guess or the 43, depending on how you look at it.
Fortunately, he doesn't renumber that car to the 95 because that would fit.
All right, the number's open, I think. Yeah, it sure is. Let's commit to the lightning thing, man. Kerchow. Caleb Patry, Ryan Maloney. This is a good battle here into Druids.
Nose to tail for both of them. The great exit from Maloney. Nowhere to quite go just yet. Maybe you look to the inside into here.
Set up the exit, and you see Patry understeering a little bit. Open up the opportunity as we see up the road. Lou going by Chrissy.
Lou catches a little bit of curb as well, trying to get past Chrissy, the number 6. But the 6 is now going to get a run from that outside. Going to get a slightly better run than Leo in the 926, and he's going to have to pull back in behind. Still running the top 5 though, so still a good run.
Yeah, and we'll see how he manages these high momentum corners here. Oh, look at Chrissy, missed it just a little bit. Going to hurt him on exit. He's in the dirt, so is Lou. Lou's got that slow in, fast out thing perfected.
Yeah, also DJ went off the track ahead as well as we're riding on board.
And DJ's trying to eat into that lead that how Seal and Pilata have it. He's doing it. He's up 2/10. A great run here from Lou. We heard the engine bog down like he was dragging the brake to trail brake the car through the corner and was still on throttle while he was doing it. So balancing the nose of the car to find some corner pace, and it has worked out for him, but not enough to yet get this pass done. And he sees Alessandrini running down those 2 leaders, Finian, so the pressure is on for Lou to get by Chrissy and have a shot at the front here.
Yeah, he's actually going to the inside now. Chrissy back on the outside. Into turn 1 they go. The 926 is going to get it done.
Pretty safely as well. I don't think Chrissy will have an opportunity to go back by. Pilata has been shadowing House Seal since the drop of the green flag, and had a momentary part of the race where he was by 23, but has been stuck in behind since. Update on your leaders. Darling ate into Tomo's lead about 0.2 of a second last time by. Gap stands at 6 seconds.
Yep, still a long way to go for anyone to try to catch O'Goran. Trying to see how close he is to catching lap traffic. Yeah, probably another lap or 2 he should be there.
Now the field is a little bit weaker this week, 22 cars. I think we had over 30 in the first couple of rounds, so that means the lap traffic will be a little bit less dense than it was. Ryan Maloney and Patry still going at it back here for 6th.
Yeah, neither one could decide who should be ahead. Been a tough, close fight here, 4-6 as you mentioned.
Good early turn-in by Maloney, but didn't get back on throttle as soon as Patry did. Lost about a half a car length, trying to gain it back here.
Ooh.
Wow, messy shifting. You can hear the revs go all over the place down there.
Yeah, Patry just really looks like through a lot of these corners he's understeering. He's just kind of throwing the car in and kind of hoping it sticks. Thinking in the long run you might be paying the price. Even in this last corner, you can see how much wider of a line he's taking because he's understeering so much. Maloney, though, taking a little bit of a better exit. Not enough for him to get a run, though.
Oh, momentary connection there for Patry, but he's back. Maloney he's getting the car rotated earlier in the corner as well, so it just makes it look like it's understeering less. Patry's in hot though. Maloney's going to try to cross him up, but Patry recovered that pretty nicely and actually carried some decent exit speed.
Up ahead of them, DJ's finally caught back up to Pilata and House Seal. So it's effectively now a 3-way fight for the lead in the MX-5 category. A little bit further back, 85 and the 11 doing battle. Adam Kovac, Michael Furchak.
Yeah, this is for 16th in class. Furchak in the 11. That's the black car. Kind of sea foam color. And yellow is Adam Kovac. Behind them, Francois Brou, who in seasons past was the series' cleanest driver, although I don't think season that's quite come to fruition as much as it has in previous seasons. Francois has been caught up in some incident, none of his own doing. But following fierce battles like this one, Alessi and Kovac going at it now, that's what'll get you into those incidents.
Yeah, especially at a track like this with so many blank corners, you come onto an incident, not even realize it's there. until you're a corner or two away. And by that time, especially around here, it's too late.
Go back, trying to keep Alessi in his sights. Same can be said of the MX5 leaders. Now Seal and Pilata are only 2/10 apart, and now with the pressure of Alessandrini, I wonder if this will change Pilata's strategy. We're basically at the halfway point of this race now, and Pilata has not been able to do anything with Ken yet. So will this light the candle here for Pilata to have to do something?
Yeah, curious to see what Pilata has gotten able to do if he can get around Hausiel. You know, Hausiel is definitely a solid driver, and if Pilata, if this Sim is trying to pursue him, or if he's just kind of sitting in behind waiting patiently. Problem is, he got DJ now to consider. And DJ is not going to be patient. You know, DJ is going to take an opportunity whether he has it or not.
I just think it's too hard to pass with this car this season to wait on anything, right? I mean, maybe that's what Pilata's been doing, but I think you just got to take what you get when you got it. I just don't think that Andrew Pilata's got much of anything for Hausiel in terms of overall pace. He can follow him. I just don't think that he would be any quicker if he was in front of Ken. I think they would just be same distance, different positions. But he just needs a catalyst to start that reaction to get ahead of Ken, and right now that could be DJ. But you also don't want DJ to pass you and then put distance on you and leave you in the dust with Ken behind.
Yeah, so Pilata is in a tough situation, trying to figure out what to do. DJ, though, curious to see when he's going to be able to get behind the 96 and the 23. Oh, he's got a really good run on this coming out of the penultimate corner.
Yeah,
curve.
Turns in early and gets the car rotated early. But it isn't paying off on exit as much as I think. Mitch Marhefka's had an issue in the number 27. Just
curve. Strikes again.
I think same situation. Just grabs grass on the left. The high-speed spin. Alessi has had a problem in the 43. Was following here. Oh, no, he just lost connection. Oh, he's back. Or then he lost connection. All right.
Interesting.
The lead battle is on. So is the one for 6th place. Wojtek Heidesek has joined the club here behind Patry and Maloney.
Yeah, but surprised he's able to catch back up, but he's been slowly reeling these guys in as they've been doing battle. Come back up to the back of Patry.
Alessi has jumped back in line into 14th place, so that internet issue has solved itself for the moment.
Got lucky there. He was gone for a pretty decent amount of time.
Yeah, popped right back in front of Koback. Probably took him by surprise there. Took him Koback. Not gonna entertain my joke.
Oh, I didn't hear it. Oh, no. I was trying to. I thought you were making a joke. I wasn't exactly sure. Then it took me a little while.
A lot of really aggressive over the curve at Sheens. Even Ken, he's putting so much load on that front tire. I'm just shocked that the car will take that for 20 minutes. A lot of slip angle here.
Yeah, a little bit wide for Hausiel on the exit.
Kind of stuck. No action to the Mustangs. They've been kind of single file since the drop of the green flag there, but we'll check back in. O'Gorman is in traffic now. It did take a chunk out of his lead this lap. Again, I think he's already put last 3 drivers down, and I think it'll get a little easier from here.
Yeah, he's going to be catching the Meteor bits track. You see in the distance all of the Miatas that just went through the final corner. So he's going to be catching them in the next lap or 2, so that potentially hold things up. Or worse, he could potentially put him out of the race if he gets involved in an incident, which is very likely at this track.
Just a lot of high-speed corners, and neither of these cars have a ton of arrows, so they're full commitment.
This track was never designed for mixed class racing in mind. I don't think there's really any high-profile mixed car events here. Mostly just single class. See you die from O'Gorman.
Yeah, very popular touring car track, but those are typically single category events. Gorman putting some distance on some lap cars here. Paul Darling did gain about half a second that lap through, though, but he's going to need that every lap from here on out to make up the rest of that gap. You can't have scenarios like this.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say, he might have been able to go to the inside of Francois there, but had to sit in behind. It's Ryan Denham just up there, get past him.
Ton of ground, but again, you need to be gaining as much as possible, which isn't necessarily sustainable over the course of the race with just the luck that you'd get. Ken leads the way. He has led every lap, I believe, in the MX-5s. Maybe,
yes.
maybe lap 1.
No, he did lead lap 1.
Gotcha.
Plot only led for basically a corner after corner down in Surtees, heading to the back section of the track. So the only taste of the lead Pilata has had. He's been trying to chase that back down this entire time. He's been really good at following in second, but like we said, it's been a bit of a struggle to pass potentially so far. Starting to run out of time, he's only got just over 10 minutes left.
10 minutes to go. Pilata still chasing. Maloney, Patry, and Heidesek, same deal here. Ooh, Maloney a little wide, too wide that time, and he's going to get big time sideways and let Patry pull up alongside his door.
Patry's going to be a long way around, maybe a bit of an over-under here. It's a bit of a hard corner to do an over-under.
Did it well, though. But now he's got drivers left, which is not the preferred line for the next corner.
Yeah, he doesn't really have the chance to clear him. 65, Maloney trying to do a little bit of side drafting here to at least keep alongside. And no, Patry just had enough as they enter Hawthorne's to get past.
And he hold it, though. Got that pass done. Now the energy level is high, the intensity level is high. Can you hang on? So far, he's actually putting some distance on Maloney. Maloney's actually falling into the clutches.
Whoa! Patry got some grass on entry. He held that back end out. It's kind of amazing he didn't spin there.
Got to get everything he can. Hausiel, by the way, has put more distance on Pilata now. Gained up to a half a second of an advantage. We have under 10 minutes remaining in this race, so under 1/3 remaining. Good battle back here in the Mustangs. Trenton McMillian in the 14 and Andrew Wozencroft in the 80. They've had a couple back and forth moments so far.
Both of them approaching Hawthorne's now. One of the closer battles. Kind of amazing how separated the Mustangs got in this race. They all separated out quite a bit. They're all within 30 seconds of each other, but all spread out in about 4 or 5 second gaps between each car.
Yeah, Paul Darling, by the way, has chunked 2 seconds out of his lead to O'Gorman, or his deficit to O'Gorman. 4.4 now. It was over 6 seconds. And Trent McMillian, as soon as we pulled away, has found himself turned around, and I think same scenario we've been seeing all night. Just overcooked it here. Grab some grass, probably. Yep, right here on the left.
Oh man, it was just the smallest sliver, and this is what I was talking about. We saw the Miatas. I think the Miatas can get away with it a little bit more, but the Mustangs definitely can't. Just a little bit of grass. You saw that's all it took to upset that Mustang. As you saw it, watch it now. Patry's caught, had Maloney catch back up to him, and Heidsek's just been kind of the passenger in this 3-car fight.
Yeah, Darling lost a full second of the 2 that he just gained, so he's back to 5.6 now behind O'Gorman. No other challenges in the Mustangs now. Maloney, big cut there over Gene, and that was borderline corner cutting, so that's got to be careful there, Fanini. That will take you completely out of the fight.
Yeah, looks like he got away with it. Don't see any slow down black flag, but man, he was definitely playing within just a few more to the right-hand side. That would have probably been a penalty. Last thing he needs in this close battle.
Yeah, it's so frustrating to get one of those penalties. And where did Pilata come from?
Wow.
What just happened?
I'm going to say a mistake from Hausiel. Oh, yeah, and exiting the final corner.
Yeah, so Hausiel had a half-second lead and lost some of it prior to this. Now this was about a 0.2 of a second lead, so his lead halved, and then he comes into the final corner here.
Yeah, watch him on exit here. Going to drift out a little bit wide, catches a little bit of grass. Not enough to swing him out wide, but it slowed him down enough, and Pilata had the run.
That is an opportunity that Pilata could not wait on, and jumped immediately to the lead, and now has a 0.3 of a second advantage, and Tala Sadiq is turned around.
Where? Oh, I was going to say, where on earth is he?
Pit entrance.
Oh. Gets on the exit here, caught some grass.
Same thing that Hausiel did. He just spun it the other way.
Whoa.
And just stopped in time.
Great job stopping that.
So Tala drops to 7th in class as we go back to the MX-5s. Alessandrini's dropped off again.
Yeah, he's actually been slowly drifting from this battle in general. He was losing a 10th here, 10th there, and they've been kind of putting some distance between them. So and I've been surprised considering the little bit of battling they've done to not close that back up, looking further down the order.
Marhefka and Louis going back at it here for 13th place. Two have had to go once or twice already tonight.
Whoa! Catching just a little bit of curbing and grass to a little bit of a healthy serving of it. Flying through Surtees. Whoa! Or sorry, Sheen corner. See a Mustang off the grass.
Was that Wozencroft? Nope, that was Rushing. Had a little bit of a slip. And for the lead again, a little bit of door banging here. Halcyon got some overlap. He's going to have the left side of the road here, but as we've seen, it's tricky to maintain that. Oh, Pilata's way out wide. Is he going to try the crossover here? Yes, but he doesn't get a good run at all. It brings DJ right back into the mix, too.
Yeah, it started in the hairpin there. Pilata just took a wide corner, and that allowed Halcyon to make a move. Does DJ now make a move? They're approaching Hawthorne Bend. Can't quite get there, so DJ has to settle back for third. The order has been restored, much to Pilata's dismay.
A little bump there. It's going to put the 96 offline. Wow, DJ had to lift. He was understeering behind the 96.
Like a NASCAR move, bump and run.
Yep, he's trying everything. Brakes, again, you can hear the downshifting. It just sounds so awkward. We're just trying to get down gears so quickly and be so efficient with it. Does not sound like a natural heel toe shift by any stretch. The cars like this are the ones that you figure out how to gamify everything. Can I figure out some transmission hack and preload the gearbox and do all those things that you do in a game just to try to get any advantage, because you're not grip limited. You're limited by speeds of literally everything that you do, from braking to shifting. And look at how Seal offline, Pilata up the inside, but no overlap.
I was going to say there wasn't really much of a gap there. Pilata was trying to get that because he smelled blood in the water, but couldn't quite get them. The door closed. Halcyon, though, starting to make a few mistakes here and there, and again, he can't afford it because he's got two very hungry drivers behind him.
Great battle here. 4 minutes left for Tom O'Gorman. That's only going to be about 2 laps when he gets back to the stripe. Leads by 5 seconds over Paul Darling.
Actually, Gorman's approaching this battle.
Certainly, as he'll get there. And he'll get into the mix, and that could really be the make or break. I think that might be what Pilata and Alessandrini realize, is that they're running out of chances, because as soon as Tomo gets there, it's going to break up this fight enough, and with only 3 minutes left and 2 laps to go, next time by, they're going to run out of chances to run Ken back down. So once Tom gets in this mix, it's going to be game over, I think.
Yeah, I was going to say, there's one last lap for them to compete, so it's got a bunch of factors. So they're going to try to hope and see if they can stay ahead of Tomo, but he's coming up quick here in these closing laps.
I don't think they're going to be able to outrun him here. The difference is about 6 seconds a lap. And look at the run Pilata's got. He's going to slam draft this 23. Jockey didn't just try to take it to driver's left, but the next 2 corners are rights. Alessandrini goes to the left. He wants to try to get by the 96. Can't do it, as they get what should be their 2 laps to go also, because Tomo is quickly approaching.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think he was trying to go to the right-hand side. Obviously, Halcyon knew that and parked the bus on the right lane to make sure that he didn't have a way on by, and there's a car entering pit lane.
Ryan Maloney.
Maloney, yeah.
Oh, he gets wide here, and fishtails once, twice, thrice, and bang into the Armco.
Really unfortunate. Such a good car. It's going to be out.
So Tom gets 2 laps to go and is heading down the hill towards Surtees, all the while just up 1 corner. Halcyon, Pilata, and Alessandrini fight for the lead in the MX5 category. DJ pops out, but Pilata doesn't follow that. And DJ actually lost a bunch of ground there.
Yeah, there's been times where DJ just kind of gets out of the corner the wrong way and just ends up losing a ton of time to these two. And now, at this stage in the race, he can't afford to be losing time like that. So he's going to have to spend time trying to claw back up there and then potentially make a move on Pilata or Halcyon. And I'm honestly surprised he hasn't made a move on either of these two yet.
I spy with my little eye. Big Mustang.
I'm sure they're begging and pleading that he doesn't get past. Technically, he doesn't need to pass them. He can give up some time. Although I don't think Tom cares. I think he's
no, he's just going to drive. He's just going fast in the lizard brain mode right now, trying to just attack every corner and get faster and faster and faster. Still losing a little bit of ground to Darling each lap, but Darling's too far back to do much about it. The real challenge here is if Tom passes these cars. Tom is entering his final lap here. If he passes this lead battle, they're going to get one lap.
Yeah.
This is going to be their final lap if Tom gets there, though.
There you can see him coming just over the hill and going to be crossing the line now. I think he should get them this lap. So these guys, the Miatas together, have to start racing. Like it's a last lap into a big mistake from Houseel on a block on Pilata as he tries to have a look up the hairpin.
Yeah, he tried to make that move. Jack Christie enters pit lane. I wonder if he's got a penalty for too many incidents and has to go serve that. That's likely what that is. I don't think Tomo's going to get there, actually. He might have enough time to lift. It's going to be, he might be far enough back. Either way,
be close.
He
it's
might
be very
close.
Close.
He doesn't want to give up time to let Paul get to him, but I don't think he's in danger of that. Still got a 4.5-second lead.
You can see there's the big bad Mustang in behind them. White flag officially out as the time counts to 0.
There he is. Yeah, there's no good passing opportunities here. So look at the dive by Alessandrini on Pilata.
DJ trying to prove you wrong, trying to have a look to the inside in Hawthorns, trying to work on Pilata. That because of that made both of them lose time to Houseel.
Yeah, they're not going to catch. Tomo's not going to catch Ken, but he could catch DJ and Pilata, and they want every opportunity to race for another lap that they can get. To the inside, DJ dives, he contacts Pilata and turns him around, and he knows that he was at fault for that, so he's going to let Pilata go. And here comes the Hao Lu to the inside. He's going to grab both those spots, thank you very much, and drive up to second. All the while, Tom O'Gorman just absolutely obliterated the field in this one. Competition taken out early, just like last night. Comes around to the checkered flag. Tom O'Gorman wins it again here. The WDCR SCCA Virtual Racing League celebrates with the tires in the grass. Paul Darling, second place again.
And with that, confirming Ken Houseel going to win the MX-5 class because he's the only car that's going to be able to finish on the lead lap in that class.
Yep. Andrew Pilata gets a podium. Alessandrini finishes in 4th. And while we've got a moment, let's go back and look at, wow, hello. Our tumbling there. Let's go back and look at exactly what happened a couple corners prior to this. And he just, I don't know. I don't know if it's as much of his fault as he thought it was, to be honest.
No, yeah, I mean, he was there. Definitely was there. I don't think really anyone's going to argue there. Yeah, the run here.
Has overlap. And right here, I mean, he definitely has overlap, in my opinion. So I don't know that this was, I mean, he does come off the curve. I don't know. Either way, he felt bad about it, clearly. But I don't know that it was entirely on him for that one. So we'll see how Pilata takes it when we talk to him a little bit. Tom O'Gorman, though, gets it done. Darling, Jake King, the rest of the top 3. We'll talk to those guys here shortly. Todd Rushing, Mike Leader. Mike Leader rebounded from that crash to finish top 5. Tyler Sadiq, Wozencroft, and Trent McMillian. Of course, the only driver that did not finish in the Mustangs is Kyle Herbst, who finished in 31st overall.
Yeah, going over to the Miatas, Ken Houseel taking the win. And how about Z Howe with a great debut race? Well, even though he got past DJ and Pilata with that incident, he was still running in 4th that entire time by himself, so it was a really solid debut.
Nice run, certainly, for the first time. He finished 2nd in class. So we move on back to page number, wrong page button. Where am I looking? There we go. Oh. There we go.
Come on, you designed this thing. There you go.
Been using these graphics for 2 years, and sometimes I still struggle to find where the buttons are. Pilata finishes 3rd in class, then Alessandrini 4th, Caleb Patry 5th, Idasek 6th, Lausen 7th, Taggart 8th, Jack Christie 9th, and Robert Porter in 10th. Didn't talk at all about Robert Porter. We've seen him before in this series run up towards the front and be in the mix. Here's some drivers that had some bad days. Ryan Maloney, late issues. Sam Scott, we saw have his accident. Then Kyle Herbst, Jermaine Major, the other 2 with big-time damage.
Yeah, and unfortunate for them. I'm a bit surprised you didn't see more retirements, though, during this race. I think it's only 4 guys call out quits. I was expecting a little bit more, but overall, good racing.
Yeah, I didn't see a ton of side-by-side and not a lot of opening lap incidents, which resulted in most of the drivers finishing, which is always great to see. But I do think this track posed a challenge, and this is kind of what we saw at Rootscogan last week as well. The tracks like this and Rudskogen are typically very racy, but with this particular combination, it seems like passing is a bit of a challenge as opposed to cars like the GT4 and then the NDMX5, some different variants of the cars that we're running here tonight. But either way, some good fights here and there. All right. I think we have a couple of our finishers we want to talk to. Ken House-Seal. There's Tom O'Gorman has joined us as well. Let's talk to Tomo, who gets it done again. Tom, just like last night, your main foes in competition ended up kind of getting collapsed a little bit on that opening lap. It allowed you to drive away, but from there on out, had some lap traffic to navigate. Take us through your night.
Yeah, it was, I mean, first of all, I forgot that this race was going to be ending because I was having fun driving this car on this track. But, I mean, the Miatas definitely made it interesting. I think Paul ultimately ran a better race than I did. Overall, I mean, he reeled me in a lot, and some of the MX-5s made some strange decisions that made my race interesting for sure. But as you're showing right now, I can see. but ultimately, I mean, yeah, I got to make my choices in a little bit calmer scenario because I had that gap. So it was a lot of fun. I enjoy this car. I enjoy this track. So ultimately, that was. How many times can I say ultimately in this interview thing?
Ultimately, it was an ultimately fantastic day for the ultimate driver in the ultimate class in the ultimate car. Tom O'Gorman gets it done in the Mustang. Congrats, man. We'll see you next time.
Thanks, guys.
All right, Tomo wins. Ken House-Seal, he got it done in the MX-5 category. Ken, P1. That was hard work, though, from our perspective. Take us through your evening.
Yeah, that was really fun. Qualifying was great. Had VR crash and then thankfully got back in time, and then just drove around really, really fast as long as I could. Just sort of wrecked the tires, I think, and then a little mistake. Andrew got back by him. Second to last lap, had to make a pretty defensive move on him into the hairpins. I just kept messing up turn one towards the end, and then I'll have to go back and watch and see what happened to those two guys. But the last lap was me just driving around board, so.
Yeah, the tail end of the race didn't quite work out like we thought it was going to, Ken. But a strong night and get one here. This is a fun racetrack with lots of momentum, but it seemed like passing was a real challenge. How hard is it to keep momentum in this car? Does it trail brake well? It just seems like getting runs is very difficult.
Getting runs is definitely very difficult. There's not a ton of draft. Trail brakes really well. Once you're alongside somebody, you can generally make the move pretty easily, or at least race them hard through the corner. But getting there is pretty difficult.
Ken, P1 tonight. Congratulations. We'll see you next time.
Yeah, thanks, guys. See you.
All right, we got Zahao Liu with us now, finished second in the MX-5s. And, hey, man, congratulations. A strong start. First race ever here in the league and second place, albeit with a little bit of drama there on that final lap. Take us through your night. Had some good battles there up in the top 5.
Hello, yeah, I'm first time on this league. First thing is thanks you guys for hosting and commentary, and yeah, I have a lot of fun right here. Yeah, I mean, these guys are really competitive. After my mistake at last turn, I really couldn't catch the guy in front. Yeah. Overall, I had really fun. Yeah, I take the second place. It's pretty lucky for me.
Well, good stuff, man. Hey, congratulations. We'll see you hopefully next week and see you as a regular more in the series.
Yeah, thank you guys.
All right, have a good night. Wrapping things up here from Brands Hatch, Finney, and that was a good, fun fight tonight, especially the MX-5. Some good racing all around, but the challenges persist at a track like this with cars like these. Fun cars to drive, hard cars to race.
Yeah, absolutely, especially taking them to really, really tough tracks like VAR, like Brands Hatch. It really shows what these guys are made of and really puts their driving skills to the test. So we see guys like Tom able to eke out such a big lead, Darling trying to chase him back down, and then the excellent battle with House-Seal, Pilata, and Allison Drini.
Good stuff. That's going to do it for us tonight here on Sim TV. Where are we going next week, Finian, on our calendar and schedule?
Summit Point. Summit Point.
Right back to where we began the season, this time as a points race. And we'll see you next week on November 16th. Following that, it'll be the 23rd of November at Okayama with the Formula V, an off week in terms of our points battle. Then Laguna Seca, Charlotte Roval, Lime Rock, and we'll finish things out with Long Beach on December 21st. That's going to do it for us tonight. We'll see you next time here on Sim TV. Next week, tomorrow, Area iRacing, the Launchbox Series, kicks off their next round as that group heads to
Therapy.
Thank you. I closed my schedule. I got optimistic. All right, we'll see you tomorrow night at IRP for the Launchbox Series, and next week from Summit Point.